crystal clear, Kelly. The government has to just come out through the Ministry of Youth and Sports to make sure that they fund each and every sports national team within the country. Be it basketball, being it football, being it volleyball, being it athletics, every sports discipline in this country. It is the mandate and it is under the jurisdiction of the National Youth and Sports to make sure that these teams are funded, these teams are facilitated, these teams are given their bonuses, especially the players and the participants, and so forth and so forth. You know, sometimes it also beats my mind, just like in a different platform that we did here this morning. It is very unfortunate that at the end of the day, we come out to say we are part of we are part of the winning team, when in the real sense we actually contributed zero. You know, so it is better to enjoy or to celebrate with the winning team with the mindset that yes, I was also part and partial. How was I being part and partial of the winning team? By making sure that I did also contributed to that. And it will be good. It beats my mind, and sometimes it gets me off guard when you know, that government comes out and then say, okay, thank you very much for you know, representing our country, and we are so proud of you. You know, we have been watching you, and we are thankful that you have qualified. Okay, those are words, but again, what have you done as a government through the Ministry of Youth and Sports? What have you done to support this country? This country's national team. Have you paid for their bonuses? Have you paid for their tickets? Did you pay for their accommodation? You know, all these things are things that we really have to be taking them seriously if we need teams to go as far as we want, and if we need to also be celebrating together. At the end of the day, of course, no one would love to celebrate a defeat anyway, but are we able to facilitate these national teams, okay, and make sure that at least they give us in return the winning that they're up to? I like the way the captain of the basketball team said the fans were behind us. So the fans also contributed anyway. They contributed by going to Rwanda and being there to cheer up the team. What about the government? You know, so the government, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, it is your responsibility and it is your jurisdiction that national teams are paid for their tickets, they are paid for their allowances, they are paid for their accommodation, and so forth and so forth. It is not only individual. Okay, for how long shall we be relying on individuals? You know, there are so many things that individual might run out of money at the end of the day. So what are you going to do next? Assuming that this team has qualified for World Cup, which I'm quite sure they will. So if Lolda is saying, okay, you know what, my government, the team has qualified for World Cup, but now my funding has gone down, and now it is your turn. And okay, what will happen now if the government say, okay, we don't have money to support this team? That means it's a total mess. And then that tells us that we shouldn't have even taken part in that qualifiers. And other than that, we also have we keep saying this, that we also have companies that can come out to do corporate social responsibilities, to come out to also support these tips. But we shouldn't say they should overweigh or they should take the whole burden. Some of them take part of that, and the other will also come and take part of that. We have individuals who, you know, out of the blue comes out and say, Kelly, I'm giving you a brand new vehicle. How much is that vehicle, for example? So if we say we get that money, equate that money and say, let me give this $100,000 to this national team of the good performance that they have. That is very huge. It's a very good motivation. It gives the boys even to yearn for more. And they will say, okay, we are part and parcel of this country, because the people are coming out willingly to say, let's support them. You know, so there are many avenues, but the people who are supposed to take lead, Kelly, in this matter is the government through the National Youth and Sports. So that at the end of the day, we'll not be only going to the airport and say, okay, you're welcome.
Let's talk about the corporate companies that, of course, are doing business in this country. We've seen a couple of corporate companies coming in to support the Football Federation with some resources, though meager, but it is something that definitely has to be appreciated. How will, first of all, the performance of these boys in these qualifiers be able to attract corporate companies that are, to me, milking actually resources from this country, be able to give it back to the sports fraternity at large?
So many companies, or so many companies that are having businesses in this country. First of all, so many of them deals in numbers. So when the numbers are there that they require, definitely they'll come for you. And for example, let's talk about telecom companies, Kelly. These are companies that have millions of customers. And so the product that, of course, they will use to sell out, it's going to be simple. But again, that also tells us to some of the corporate companies will say, yes, we have the money available, but did you come out? Did you come to our offices, knocking our offices for support? You know, so it also takes us back. So you know, in such circumstances, the sports bodies should now come up with proposals, and those proposals are submitted to these companies at the end of the day. Perhaps we might say they're not supporting, yes, but again, in the other way around, they might be having the money, but because people are not coming to knock at their door. Okay, they have the money, yes. I can't give my money. I can't say, okay, Kelly, have this money. Okay, what is it going to be for? You know, so they should also take that into consideration and say, we need to come up with a proposal. Let's submit to company accountability. I give you my money. I give you £100. I need you to account for me. How much have you spent? How have you spent my money? Okay, is it the money that has ended up into individual pockets, or it is money that has been utilized very well and it has benefited a person or people, and the right channels are used to spend this money? You know, so the accountability aspect of some of these monies that we're also requesting from corporate companies, they shy away because we don't give them the accountability with evidence. So sometimes they shy away, or they even say, okay, let's look forward to see how we can work together. They say, okay, no, I think let's first put this on hold until further notice. So these are some of the circumstances that are facing
corporate companies. If you're a federation or an association that is managing any sport in the country, you need to understand that if you don't account for the little monies seeing them coming through, perhaps the other point that needs to go down the road is the organization of these federations and associations. Some of these associations, honestly speaking, have no work plan. They work like kangaroos, if you understand the meaning of the word kangaroo. Some of them have no work plan. If you ask them to give you a strategic plan for 5 years that perhaps they're going to be in the office, or 4 years they're going to be in the office, some of them have zero work plan. And there's no corporate company or any institution that will support an organization or a federation or an association that has a kangaroo style of management or administration or working. This is one thing that the federations and associations need to take into consideration, that you must have a work plan that you present to these corporate companies and also other stakeholders if you really need this regarding the basketball discussion. Of course, Machok Dot says coach almost made a huge mistake, because at the end of the second quarter he wanted to make changes, and that's why